I was one of 7 kids, and I have to say, my folks weren't very smart, trying to raise all of us on a single substitute teacher's salary. But they loved us very much. I know because they often said so. They tossed around the words so much that they might have been punctuation to everything else they said. On birthdays, our mum and dad would gather us up and tell us a story of how he joined the family, with many interjected eye rolls from the older kids who'd heard it a million times and yucks from the younger ones. You came into our family howling and covered in your mother's blood. Boy, did you have a set of lungs on you. And that sort of thing. We didn't have much, and what we had was shared hand-me-downs that were kept until they were shreds, which were then used as rags. Nothing wasted. We moved a lot too. As I got older, I put 2 and 2 together and realised that the vagrancy was because we'd have to skip town before angry landlords came after us for missed rent. So yeah, things were tight, but so were we. My big sister talked to me every day over the phone, even when she left for college. My brothers were always there for me when the neighbourhood kids would pick fights. Those kids were mean in the way only kids could be. A lot of it had to do with neighbourhood gossip that we were all bastards from various affairs my mom had had. I guess I could see why they might have thought that. Line us all up, and we don't really look all that related. But my parents were crazy in love, and I knew they'd never even consider cheating. There was one more after me. Mom didn't let on that we were having another sibling until well into things. Wanting to be sure about it, I guess. I was surprised that they were having a new one. I was a preteen by then, and thought I'd be the baby of the family forever. That poor kid was going to be in the same age as their niece, my sister having just had her first when Mum made the announcement. A month of waiting on our mum, hand and foot, fussing about cradles and baby names. Then my parents went away for a few days, and when they got back, I had a little brother. When I laid eyes on him, I got a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. I knew what healthy newborns looked like from the pictures of my sister's baby girl. My new brother did not look like a healthy newborn. If I knew then what I knew now, I would have told someone, child services, a teacher maybe, but I was blissfully, even willfully ignorant, and I did nothing. I tried to treat my baby brother like one of the family. I really did. But I think it was a relief for everyone when I moved out a few years later. Too much tension. 5 weeks before graduation, I got the call. Come on quick, Mum has cancer. I dropped everything to go to her. Wouldn't you? My sister became a doctor. Did I mention that? She basically moved into be Mum's full-time nurse. From the pursed-lipped expression she gave me when she greeted me at the door, I knew it was bad. Ma kept her head up, but within months, she was gone. I remember my sister staying up very late, looking over Mum's medical information, and muttering about how impossible it all was. I didn't understand then. I do now. Shortly after the funeral, my dad took the last of her meds into the bathroom and followed her. He left us a letter, the bastard. After the police and the ambulance left, I watched my oldest brother read it before chucking the letter into the fireplace. He said we didn't need to know why Dad did what he did, that all he knew was how much he loved us and Mum. He looked right at my sister as he said it. The sick feeling that had been sitting coiled in my gut for 8 years solidified. Later, when I dug my mother's medical records out of the trash, I finally understood that feeling. My mum had a history of ovarian cancer in her family. Hell, my mum had a lot of bad medical history. What must have been the most devastating to her was the infertility it caused. Not after my youngest brother, oh no. 2 years before the oldest. She always did tell me she wanted a big family. The low-profile job my dad worked, the constant moving, the way we all looked different, the pregnancies not announced before time, the birthday stories, the suicide, the way my brother had looked the day my parents brought him home. Not like a real newborn, like a TV newborn, like a baby already 2 or 3 months old. And finally, the thing I looked up later, after I'd gotten thoroughly drunk, the string of murders that followed my family's trail the whole time. We all came into the family, crying and covered in our mother's blood, but not in the blood of the woman who raised us.